ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help. The following program is brought to you by Arlington Community Media, where we tell your story.
ACMi News travels to a Renaissance fair. Patriots Day festivities take over the town, and in honor of Earth Day, EcoFest kicks off in Arlington. From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered, giving you stories that count from people who care. Reliable, trustworthy, dependable. This is the nationwide award-winning ACMi News.
Hello everyone, I'm James Milan.
And I'm Paul Werlin. Welcome to today's edition of ACMi News.
The Brighton Bazaar transformed the Charles River Speedway for its second annual Riverside Revelry Renaissance Fair. Try saying that 10 times fast.
This weekend, the Charles River is traveling back in time at the Riverside Revelry Renaissance Fair. The second annual festival, hosted by the Brighton Bazaar, brought hundreds of vendors, live entertainment, and plenty of medieval mayhem to Boston. From handcrafted goods to fantasy-inspired creations, the event blended traditional Renaissance themes with a modern flair.
It was really successful the last time, so we decided to make it a full weekend event, and it's been even more successful this weekend. Yesterday we had a line all the way around the block of people waiting to get in. A couple of people even had to wait for an hour, a couple hours to get in, but people are really committed to getting here and having a good time, so we were really happy that they ended up waiting. It was worth it.
And that commitment showed. Long lines and packed crowds of over 4,500 attendees filled the Speedway throughout the weekend. Guests say what makes this fair unique is its variety.
This one in particular is just nice because it's more vendor focused, and it's a lot of different vendors that have different items, not just Renaissance items. This has got that mix, so you're getting a little bit of everything, and that's why I think it's a great event. Attendees
didn't just shop. They fully embraced the experience, showing up in handcrafted costumes, enjoying refreshing beer, and cheering on battles between knights in armor straight out of the 16th century.
My favorite part is honestly the helmets, the style for that. I really like that part.
With its growing popularity, Riverside Revelry is quickly becoming a staple event for Boston's art scene.
Having the different food vendors, bringing out everybody in the fantasy kind of genre of creators, I think is awesome. And then having the other events up in the square has really just made it a lot more fun and interactive as well.
The Brighton Bazaar hosts around 40 events each year. You can attend their next market May 23rd. For ACMi News, I'm Francisca Beduya.
Wow, those knights really look like they did some damage, eh, Paul?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the business end of that blade, that's for sure. In partnership with the town's DEI Commission, Arlington High School students hosted a multicultural night celebrating the diversity of their student body.
I would like to welcome you all to Multicultural Night. Thank you all for being here to enjoy this night with all of our student groups and our outside vendors who have put in so much work into coming in, being here tonight, and showcase an important aspect of their identities to you all.
I'm the leader of the South Asian Affinity Group along with my partner, Anushka Shea. She's not here right now. But we're both the leaders of the South Asian Affinity Group. We've been kind of spearheading this project along with our amazing administrators. We have the Jewish Student Union here, and we also have the Latino Student Union here, among so many other groups, kind of representing our school and all the cultures here in Arlington. For our outside vendors, we have Punjab. They're over at the table right there with Jose's and Lucky Dragon. And at 7 p.m., we're going to be having performances, including we're going to have some dances. We're going to have some musical pieces, so like pianists are coming in and a violinist. I'm just really lucky to be involved with so many wonderful people, and getting to see everyone's culture here is such a blessing. And I hope to make this project an annual event. I'm just really happy to be here.
Congratulations to the student organizers for putting together such a thoughtful and fun event.
Did you do anything to celebrate over the holiday weekend, Paul?
Well, it was kind of a rainy, cold day, so I watched the marathon from the comfort of my living room eating popcorn.
Well, rainy, cold day be darned. Our colleague and news producer, Josh Gishri, was hard at work covering multiple events highlighting Arlington's quite extraordinary history.
Arlington celebrated Patriots Day Weekend with a number of events spread throughout the town. Patriots Day is a day for remembrance and recognition of the inaugural battles of the American Revolutionary War. On Saturday, April 18th, Arlington's Town Hall transformed into the Monotony Beer Hall, utilizing the first name that the town adopted, which included special musical performances, food trucks, and drinks served from Arlington Beer Company. At the Jason Russell House, free tours were offered all weekend long. Visitors gathered to learn about the historic place of the first and one of the bloodiest battles of the Revolution, with the evidence of the conflict buried in the walls. On Monday, April 20th, the Cyrus Dallin Art Museum held a talk about Menotomies' importance to the Revolution and the renowned sculptor Cyrus Dallin's struggle in producing the famous Paul Revere statue that remains outside the Old North Church in Boston. The event included a mixture of poetry, history, and reenactment.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive who remembers that famous day and year.
Town meeting members, Arlington Historical Society President Robert Brazil, and even the state representatives Sean Garbely and Dave Rogers attended.
And as I was coming down Mass Ave, I was thinking about how much pride I have being from Monotony, and how much pride everybody who lives in the town of Arlington should have in the role that Arlington played in the American Revolution.
Later that day, the reenactment of Paul Revere and William Dawes' journey to warn about the approaching British regulars took place outside Town Hall.
Gather your muskets and powder! The regulars are out! Warn your neighbors!
Okay.
Select Board member Eric Helmuth presided over the reenactment, where families enjoyed treats from Dell's Frozen Lemonade and Arlington's House of Pizza while greeting the horses and riders.
The event is hosted by the hardworking volunteers of the Arlington Committee on Tourism and Economic Development, otherwise known as ATED. Thank you for the work that you do to bring visitors to Arlington to make us proud of this village. Now, Arlington also has a second fiddle problem, or maybe a third or fourth fiddle problem, because on this day that we celebrate, who gets all the attention? Concord, Lexington. But people who lived here in Arlington know that on the first day of the Revolutionary War, the fiercest fighting was where? Right here in Monotony.
This Patriots Day weekend brought the focus back to Arlington's rich history and its impact in the birth of a nation.
Huzzah indeed. Sure looks like folks were having a great time all over town.
Arlington marked Earth Day as the start of EcoFest 2026, a month-long series of public events focused on sustainability and community action. Things kicked off with a hands-on fish painting workshop at Mystic Open Studios. The town describes the festival as a time of learning, volunteering, and celebrating with activities designed to bring the community together around environmental action in different forms. Most EcoFest events are free and open to the public and include a bee story time at Fox Library, an environmental film discussion, and a bird walk at the Arlington Reservoir on Saturday, April 25th. EcoFest continues in Arlington through May 23rd with more events planned across town throughout the month. For a full schedule of EcoFest events, visit arlingtonma.gov/EcoFest.
April is also Bee Month at the Robbins Library, and ACMi member Joe Snodgrass caught up with the library's beekeeper to get the latest buzz on the library's hive.
This is our queen bee. I have her by the wings. I'm going to let her stand on my finger. And you can see the white dot on her back. I will hold on to her and then I'll put her back in the queen clip. She has the white dot, which means she was born 1 year ago when our marking color was white. And she lived here at the library. She's in her clip now. The queen is the same genetics as a worker bee, but they feed her royal jelly and she mates with drones. So she will develop differently and she will be able to become inseminated. They go to what's called a drone congregation area in nature and she'll mate with other drones, an average of 13, and then she'll be inseminated for the rest of her life and can lay eggs for years without ever leaving the hive again. So that's why she's fairly easy to find. She's the biggest bee in the hive, and she is all set. Now, if that hive became crowded, the only time she would ever leave that hive again is to swarm. But I try to avoid having my bees swarm because then you don't get much honey. You've lost half your army.
Who would have guessed that the library kept bees? Alexandra will hold a talk on April 29th at 7 p.m. in the community room at the Robbins Library.
And a special shout out to Joe for submitting this piece. He's a model for the kind of citizen journalism we are always looking to encourage, nurture, and highlight at ACMi News.
And the action at the library is just the tip of the iceberg for things happening in town. ACMi News producer Josh Gishri shares more tantalizing possibilities with the following community calendar.
Thanks, Paul. There is a lot to do in Arlington. Here's just a handful. On Saturday, April 25th, Park Avenue Congregational Church is having its annual rummage sale in the Heights from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. This event will feature an array of affordable items, including clothing, shoes, books, toys, small furniture, and more. Shoppers from across Arlington are invited for a day of bargain hunting and community connection. Remaining items will be picked up by the Epilepsy Foundation. In live performance news, a brand new stage adaptation of Little Women comes to life this spring. Lauren Gunderson's reimagining of the classic story opens May 1st and runs Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays through May 17th. Produced by Arlington's Friends of the Drama, this play follows the beloved March sisters as they navigate family, ambition, and growing up during the Civil War. Directed by David Warnock and supported by an award-winning production team, the show offers a thoughtful, family-friendly experience. More information can be found at afdtheater.org. From live theater to live painting. On May 2nd, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Arlington Heights Spring Window Painting event will bring a splash of color to the neighborhood, as local artists and community members transform windows into spring-themed works of art. Storefronts throughout Arlington Heights will serve as canvases for creative designs celebrating the season, turning the area into a walkable outdoor gallery. And with so many upcoming Earth-focused events, we could only pick one to share. The Middlesex Conservation District's Spring Plant Sale will take place May 1st and 2nd, offering residents a chance to shop a wide variety of native plants, shrubs, and garden-ready selections. The sale supports sustainable landscaping practices and encourages environmentally friendly gardening across the region. Information on directions and ordering plants in advance can be found on middlesexconservationdistrict.org. And that's all for this week's community calendar. I hope to see you out and about. James, back to you.
Thanks, Josh. Coming up on ACMi News, An important communications bill is before Congress. We'll offer a recap of the Boston Marathon, and we'll hear a sample from this year's Arlington Jazz Festival. All this and more right after this.
Hello, I'm Lisa Allen, former councilwoman from Summit, New Jersey. And today I want to alert you to an extremely harmful bill that is being considered in our nation's capital. It's called the American Broadband Deployment Act of 2025. HR 2289 gives the telecom companies the power to overrule your local zoning ordinances. There will be no notice required to the local government or obligation to comply with safety laws. This proposed legislation waives the need for the telecom companies to pay towns for their rights of way. It would eliminate cable franchise fees that help pay for your PEG channels. So what can you do? Contact your congressional members and tell them, stand up for the rights of local municipalities to regulate the telecom industry. Stopping HR 2289 is going to take all of us. Please, act now.
Welcome back to ACMi News, and thank you to the Jersey Access Group for providing that important PSA. The upshot of this for us here in Arlington is that the bill would transfer power from local municipalities like Arlington to the cable companies with no guarantee that they would recognize the community benefit of stations like ACMi. If you would like to support ACMi and community media generally, please contact your congressional representatives and urge them to vote no on HR 2289.
The Boston Marathon returned on Monday, April 20th, once again turning the city and surrounding communities into the setting for one of the sport's most historic events. Held each year on Patriots Day, the race runs from Hopkinton to Boston and draws athletes from around the world. This year marked the 130th running of the Boston Marathon, with the Boston Athletic Association expecting about 30,000 participants on race day. But beyond the numbers, the marathon is also about the atmosphere. The crowds lining the streets, the steady flow of runners throughout Boston, and the sense of shared excitement that takes over the region for the day. The race was also a notable day for American runners. According to the BAA, Zohar Talby and Jessica McLean posted the fastest times ever by Americans on the Boston course, with both athletes finishing 5th in their respective divisions.
Now, Paul, you haven't spent a lot of time with our producer, Josh, but there's one thing you should know about him. He loves traveling. And this weekend, despite covering a host of Arlington's Patriots Day events, he somehow found the time to go somewhere else.
When I'm mobile.
One of the best parts about living in New England is that long weekends mean the chance to visit places outside of the greater Boston area. So I did just that and visited Roger Williams Park in Rhode Island to see the Museum of Natural History and Planetarium. Built in 1896, the museum is Rhode Island's only natural history museum and public planetarium. Non-member admission is only $2, with an additional $3 needed for viewing the planetarium show. The museum was full of incredible wildlife displays from birds to bears to bugs, and exhibits on geological timescale and climate change, the growth of culture in the South Pacific, and astronomical achievements by NASA. Plus a long line for the sold-out planetarium show. If this seems like the destination for your next long holiday, planetarium shows are on Saturdays and Sundays at 2 p.m. and during certain Monday holidays and school vacation weeks. I recommend reserving your ticket online. For ACMi News Going Mobile, I'm Josh Gishri.
Josh is quite the weekend warrior. Maybe I'll check that out myself next time I'm in the state of Rhode Island.
And that'll do it for this week's edition of ACMi News. Have a story you want us to cover? Know about an upcoming community event? Share your ideas by writing us at the address on the upcoming screen.
For ACMi News, I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm James Milan. As we sign off this week, please enjoy this highlight from opening night of Arlington's Jazz Fest, and we'll see you next time.
can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.
ACMI productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMI to learn how you can help.